Well, I was tagged by Suzanne over at Suzannes WW Life, and it's called the A Little Bit of Everything Tag Questions. She knows I love to do tags. And so I am going to tag 4 people. I'm going to let you know from the beginning. I will list the questions in the description box down below, and I also will list the questions too, so you don't have to worry about writing them down. But I just wanted to make you aware that I am tagging you. I am going to tag Robbie Sparkles over at Frekifitwolf, Kathy's WW Journey, Angela, Ange, the Brat over at SMAC Vision, and Sabrina at Sabrina's WW Success and Struggles. So I'll go over to their channels and check them out. Subscribe to them if you haven't. They give you good content. And I know that Sabrina is very close to 1,000 subscribers, and everybody knows we like to get to those 1,000 subscribers. Kathy's working her way up there too, so go over there and subscribe to both of them. You won't be disappointed. I know you won't. Okay, on to the questions. I'm reading them from Suzanne's site, so I'm going to be looking down every once in a while. Number 1, what time do you normally go to bed? I normally go to bed right around 2 in the morning. I'm a night owl, and I get up early. I wake up usually around 7:30, 8 o'clock. I lay in bed, play games on my phone. I read the news on Google News, and I'm a news junkie, so I read a lot of what's going on in the world. And so I actually don't get my little old butt out of bed till probably 9 or 9:30, and then I usually go for a 2-mile walk, and it works for me. The other night I went to bed at midnight, and Jim was going to bed. I went to bed before Jim, and he goes, "Oh my gosh, are you sick?" I just was tired, but that was unusual for me. It's usually 2 in the morning. Number 2, you could only choose one fast food chain. What would you pick? Oh, that was a hard one because, I love all fast foods. I think I would have to pick, if I could only go to one all the time, so it would be McDonald's, because I like more of their, I love a good Whopper at Burger King, but I only like their Whoppers. And so, no. But I mean, if I went to McDonald's, I'd have a bigger choice. I like their hamburgers. I like their Quarter Pounders. I like their Big Macs. I like their sausage biscuits in the morning. So I would have to say McDonald's. Although Taco Bell comes in really close too. It's kind of hard to pick. But that's the one I would, if I had to pick, if they held me down and said I had to pick, it would be McDonald's. Number 3, what part of your body could use a little lotion? Really none of my body. I'm very oily, slippery, I guess, slippery when wet. I'm very fortunate that I have, my skin is not dry, but it's not really oily, but it's just enough. The only thing that's really oily is my hair. If I don't wash it every day, it's just, it gets away from me because it looks so dirty because it's so oily and greasy. But I would say my body doesn't need any lotion. I have lotion, but I don't use it. Number 4, when things break, do you prefer to fix them or replace them? Oh, replace them. That is why I am not good with money. Because, like, I just bought a toaster yesterday. I'm sure we could have probably figured out a way to fix it. No, it was easier just to go buy a new toaster. With the exception being my washer machine and dryer, we have had that repaired on numerous occasions, and they're getting close to needing to be replaced because they're about 14 years old. In the olden days, way back in the olden days, you could buy like a refrigerator and it would last you for life. Not so much anymore. I kind of wish, in a way, that my refrigerator would break down because I see so many new refrigerators that I like. But I don't want to, they're like thousands and thousands of dollars. I think when I bought my refrigerator, I think I probably paid $700 or $800 for it. And I don't think I'd get a refrigerator the size that I have for $700 or $800 now. But I prefer to replace them. Number 5, if you had all the money in the world, what would be the first thing you'd buy? Well, the very first thing I would buy would be a house that I've designed myself. And it would be on the water. And it would have everything that I like. And then Jim would have his cabin up north, so when he wanted to go hunting, if it was a nice enough cabin, which it would be because I have all the money in the world, I would go up there with him while he hunted. But it's too rustic now. So that's not me coming. And I also would like to use my money to really help the poor. I mean, really, really help the poor. It's just, when I see these millionaires running for president, and they're wasting, in my opinion, like almost $1 billion on advertising to promote themselves. It's $1 billion that they could have used to fund some kind of a, sorry about that, got a phone call. They could have used that money to fund some inner city projects, to help the needy in the Appalachian Mountains. There's just so many things they could have done with that money, and then they wasted it on advertising, and that kind of turns me off. It really does kind of turn me off. I like campaigns where they get the grassroots and they get the regular people donating their money. And I'm not either a Democrat or Republican. I'm an independent. I vote for the person, not for the party. But I just think that if you can raise your own money just by word of mouth from people, I have a little bit more respect for you than just billionaires giving you money. But anyway, let's not get started on that. Number 6, would you rather keep your current sleep schedule or hibernate for 3 months and have the other 9 of 24/7 alertness without being tired? I'd like to keep my regular schedule. I don't want to waste 3 months of my life not knowing what's going on and not living it. And I know that you could live it 24/7, which I hate that expression. The only thing you do 24/7 is breathe. As far as I'm concerned, I hate when people say, I worked last week 24/7. But when did you sleep? When did you eat? When did you go to the bathroom? When did you do anything? I hate that expression. My family knows it, so they always go out of their way to say, oh yeah, last week I went 24/7. It drives me nuts. But I don't want to miss a moment of my life. And sometimes I hate to sleep because then I'm missing something, and so I would pick my regular sleep schedule that I have right now. Number 7, have you ever cried at a movie? And if so, name it. I'm to the point now that I cry, it seems like at the drop of a hat. I just have to see a teardrop welling up in somebody's eye and I'm going to start to cry. But I have to say, with every time I watch Rudy, because Jim and I are famous for watching movies more than once or more than twice and more than 10 times. We watch movies a lot. But every time I watch Rudy, I cry. When they bring their little jerseys in and they lay it on the table, I'm going to cry now just thinking about it. And they go, he can play in my place, coach. It's just, it really touches my heart and I cry every single time. And I know it's coming up and I know it's going to be there. And I cry. And I just cry. I can't help it. But you know what? That just shows I'm human. All of you people out there that don't think I'm human, I'm human. I know you think I am. I know that. Number 8, is never returning something you borrowed considered stealing? Oh, yeah, for sure. Because if you really wanted to just borrow it, you'd bring it back. Or you would replace it if you broke it or something. That's the rule in my family. You can always borrow something, but if you break it, you have to replace it. Because that's just common sense. I do think, now this is going to sound bad. I'm going to warn you ahead of time that I think this sounds bad. But I think that when I worked, when I was just like a teenager, when I was working at a fruit market, and there was this one lady that used to come in and she looked so poor. And she used to come in and she had this little ratty little change purse that she had her money in. And she would have all these coupons, and she'd buy all the dented foods, and she'd buy all the expired foods, not expired, but really close to being past the expiration date. And she would look so sad when she'd come through the line. Friendliest lady, but you just knew she didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. And if she was like one of these eccentrics that had all kinds of money, more props to her that she could pull off this act, because, she should win an Academy Award because she really fooled me. And I knew how much, not that I knew how much money, but I knew that my boss that owned the store, he seemed pretty rich. He owned a couple racehorses. He drove a really nice car. He had a really nice house because we had been there one time for a Christmas party. I thought he had money. I really did think he had money. And I would see the lady going through the store. And back then you could buy like a stick of butter. I wonder if they'd let you even buy a stick of butter now. But you didn't have to buy the whole pound of butter. You could buy 1 stick of butter. And I would see her steal like a stick of butter and put it in her bag. And or or like she'd have like, if they'd say like she had 6 oranges and she'd really have 7, something like that. And I'll probably go to hell for stealing. I don't care. I think God will understand. But when she would come through my line, I always had stuff that people didn't change their minds about, or they were going to, put, like have to go back on the shelf or something. I would sneak it in her bag. And sometimes I would pay for it, but I'll be honest with you, sometimes I didn't, because I just thought that George had, his name is George, I just thought that George had enough money that he could afford like a can of fruit or something like that. I would confess it. It could be at confession. When I went to confession, I would confess it. But really the whole act of confession is not to repeat it again if you can help it. And, I just knew that I was going to do it again. But anyway, I don't know why I went off on that subject. But anyway, but if you borrow something and you don't return it, that's stealing. Number 9, would you rather have a clogged nose or a piece of green food always stuck in your teeth? Look at these teeth. There's not going to be anything stuck in between my teeth. But I would pick I would think about a piece of green food stuck in my teeth. I really would. And then I just wouldn't, I would still smile. I wouldn't care. I don't know. Most people wouldn't tell you that your teeth were green anyhow. You'd want them to. Like if you had something stuck in your tooth, you'd want somebody to tell you, but most people don't. And number 10, what is something you learned in the last week? I really can't think of anything. I've learned that I've learned a lot about myself in the last week. I had a gain on Saturday, and I didn't deserve that big of a gain. I just know I didn't deserve that big of a gain. I really thought I'd probably gain like a half a pound, but I gained 1.2, which is about a half a pound. No, it's actually 0.7 more than I thought I was supposed to lose, or gain rather. But what I learned about myself is that I'm not going to let that throw me. I'm going to fight through that, and I know that I'm going to have a bigger loss this week because I know it wasn't a true gain. And so I learned that if I just stick with my beliefs and know that I'm going to overcome all my bad habits of this diet, lifestyle, mindset, whatever you want to call it, that I'm definitely going to do better. And I did learn that about myself this week. And I'm always open to learning new things. So that's about it. So anyway, once again, I'm going to tag Kathy's WW Journey, Sparkles, Robbie over at Frekifitwolf, the Brat, and at SMAC Vision, and Sabrina at Sabrina's WW Success and Struggles. And I'll leave a link to their channels down below. If you want to do the tag, please do it. Let me know, and I'll share your video with. I'll share the link to your video. Just let me know that you did it. And that's about it. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Suzanne, for tagging me. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe, leave a comment, hit that like button, and share it if you think somebody might like to see it. And let's keep this tag going.